the structure that we are going to learn today, a big new one, is called Impromptu Networking. And it's exactly what you imagine it would be. It's a quick way to learn about each other. So we pair up. Obviously, sometimes there are 3 people if it's an odd thing. And there's a prompt. And you get 4 minutes, approximately 2 per person, to respond to the prompt. There are standard prompts, a couple of which you'll actually see today. And there are 3 rounds. Okay. So the full thing takes something like 15 minutes. And I'll just mention one big difference between doing it online and doing it live, which is that when we do it live, people get to choose who they're pairing with. Whereas online in Zoom, the only person who has breakout room privileges and who can choose who's in their breakout room is the host. And so what happens is you click the breakout room button in Zoom and it sort of randomly groups people. And as the host, I can move people around, but no participant can actually do that. So we've actually asked Zoom to change that, and the chance that they'll change it is 0, but it's a pretty significant thing because like what's happening there is that we're losing choice, right? So it's a little bit unfortunate that we have that problem. And so I'm going to share again and just show you what the prompts will be for today and which ones of them are standard. And oops, that was not it. Which ones are standard and which ones are not. Okay, do you guys see my screen? It should say Impromptu Networking here. Each round is 4 minutes with 1 minute countdown. Okay, great. So the first one is what do you do and why do you do it? Okay, so this is something like your standard cocktail question. And I should say that this is partially a response. The whole idea behind this liberating structure and why we're doing this today is because Cynthia had this request last time to find out like what people do, like what Agile coaches do. And so this is just a demonstration that there's a liberating structure that actually addresses that. And it's considered to be like one of the core ones. And then since I need to leave at 5 o'clock, I'm going to pass the hosting privileges to someone else. So that'll be fun. It just means clicking a button in the breakout room in Zoom, but just be thinking about whether or not you want to host this. Okay, then round 2, you will answer these 5 fill-in-the-blank questions. So if only blank, like if only I had $1 million in the bank, right? Or they make me do this, right? So we answer all 5 of those. So again, each person answers all 5 of those. And these are a variation. This is actually a standard liberating structures variation of these questions, okay? So if you go to the Liberating Structures website, you will actually see these questions in an area that they call riffs, which is sort of like their tweaks to it. And then round 3, we're going like more and more vulnerable here. You'll notice like, what do you do and why do you do it? You could answer that question, with a stranger. The second one is a little bit more vulnerable. And then the third one is, what is the biggest rule you have broken and why? And that's not a standard liberating structures question. It's not on the webpage. It's just a question that I like to use. Okay. So we'll start off with the first one. It'll be 4 minutes in a breakout room. And then there'll be a 1 minute countdown and we'll all come together. So before we do that, and then at the very end, we'll just do the checkout where everyone shares what they've learned, and we'll do a round around that.
I have one question, Michael.
Yes.
If you leave, does your screen share go as well? So will we lose that kind of looking at the questions?
So the ideal thing would be for the next person who's the host, but they'll have all of the privileges that I have.
Okay.
Including being able to look at that document, right? So it would be nice if the person who's the host has access to that document. I know that some of you do from last time. And then I will also just copy those questions into the chat. So thanks for that, Ron. Okay, so just as a reminder, the question is, what do you do and why do you do it? Approximately 2 minutes each for each person, and then there'll be a 1-minute countdown when all of us will come back. So I'm clicking the breakouts room button, and we're going to split into 3 rooms. And so the rooms are going to be Christopher, Crystal, and it's interesting. It gives me E ... So I think it's Eric with a C. The second room is Cynthia and Matt. And then the third room is Eric with a K and Kate Gonzalez. Okay.
And I do that because I really love giving back through
coach is a misnomer for agile coaching. So I both love coaching and agile, and that's why I'm a coach.
Do that for the
Wow, everyone is back. Who wants to be the host for the second half hour? Okay, Cynthia. Okay, so I'm making.
I'll take the hot seat.
Thank you so much.
And I'm asking permission to do all of these little if questions seem to be very negative. And I'm wondering if we could have, if they would, and I have to, and that's just the way it is. Could we have one stem that is, I'm at my best when?
Oh, sure, absolutely. I will say that the whole point, actually, of those is actually to share any negativity. So when we go to the rest of the meeting. But absolutely, feel free to vary and modify. I don't think that there's anything that's right.
Okay, that's good. I'm willing to follow it down if that's the purpose of kind of getting all the grumpiness out.
Okay, great. And so have you accepted the meeting host?
Let me see. Hang on. I'm not sure where I accept.
Okay, it says that you're the host. Do you see breakout rooms in your bar now?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So you're all set. Thank you so much for doing this.
Okay.
One thing I would encourage you guys to notice is what your emotional state is during this. And then think about starting off a meeting by doing this. Thank you.